Most international parents expect a delivery room to be a clinical space. Stepping into the Dutch maternity system means shifting your expectations toward a calm, domestic space. This comparison table breaks down why the experience feels so different. The Dutch system does not treat pregnancy as a medical condition. It operates on the assumption that birth is a natural, physiological process. Interventions are applied when they are medically required, never as a routine default. For mothers accustomed to immediate access to an OBGYN and continuous fetal heart monitoring, this hands-off approach can initially trigger anxiety. You are moving to a system where midwives stay in the background and let you labor freely. Navigating this successfully requires knowing the specific terminology and structure of Dutch care. We are going to decode the vocabulary so you can build a personalized care team. Letting go of default medical interventions demands active preparation. By understanding exactly how the system routes your care, you gain complete autonomy over your birth plan and your environment. Dutch maternity care has two tracks. First line, eerste lijns, is led by a community midwife for low-risk pregnancies. Second line, tweede lijns, is hospital-led. Care transfers here if complications arise or you need an epidural. The hybrid Platz indication allows hospital birth under your community midwife. Keeping track of which line you are in tells you exactly who is legally allowed to make medical decisions in your delivery room at any given moment. Because first-line care is the default, you have the power to select your midwife practice. How that practice is organized dictates your entire prenatal timeline and your labor experience. Caseload practices sit top left for continuity, capping clients at 5 per month with 24/7 access. Duo practices guarantee one of 2 midwives attends. In larger practices, you rotate through up to 8 midwives, gaining broader expertise but increasing the chance of a stranger at birth. If the thought of a rotating staff causes you anxiety, your first and most vital task is researching and securing a smaller practice immediately after a positive test. Even with the right practice, international parents consistently run into 2 logistical friction points, starting with medical pain relief. This timeline of labor highlights a strict window for epidurals. Because an epidural requires transferring to second-line care, driving to the hospital, and securing an anesthesiologist, you have to time it right. If you labor at home too long and arrive at 7 centimeters dilated, you are past the window. The second friction point hits immediately after the baby arrives, the hospital discharge protocol. In the US and many other countries, mothers recover in the maternity ward for 2 to 3 days. In the motherlands, if you have an uncomplicated birth, you are packed up and sent home within hours. Explicitly discussing your pain management timing with your midwife and preparing your home for a rapid return prevents the jarring feeling of being rushed out the door. The reason the Dutch system can discharge you so quickly is because of what is waiting for you at home. This is kraamzorg. They monitor your healing, check the baby's vitals, manage household logistics, and provide breastfeeding education, so you can focus entirely on recovery. You have 2 options for hiring. You can use a large agency, which assigns an available nurse when you deliver, or you can hire a self-employed professional, known as a ZZP'er, allowing you to interview and select your specific nurse months in advance. This scorecard outlines the non-negotiable steps. kraamzorg fills up fast. You must book before your 13th week of pregnancy. Always select the maximum hours available. You can scale them back later, but you cannot add them if you need more help. By treating kraamzorg as your private, in-home recovery ward, you replace the isolation of early parenthood with structured professional support. If your care does transfer to the second line, the intimacy of your community midwife is replaced by a broad, unfamiliar hospital team. This visual hierarchy outlines who actually runs the room. Notice the resident, or AIOS, sits right in the center. With 12 years of medical training, they do the majority of the active supervising on the ward. Expecting the senior doctor to catch the baby is a common misunderstanding. In the Netherlands, the gynecologist only steps in for twins, breaches, or severe medical escalations. You will also interact with a clinical midwife who manages IVs and fetal monitoring, and the anesthesiologist who places the epidural and has the final say over who is permitted into the operating room during a C-section. Knowing this hierarchy ensures you know exactly who to look to when your community midwife steps back. We have identified 4 potential gaps for international parents: underestimating the fast discharge, timing the kraamzorg booking, navigating midwife shift changes, and interpreting hospital hierarchies. Hiring a doula directly addresses all 4 of these vulnerabilities. A doula provides a continuous thread of support. They know your birth plan, they translate the medical vocabulary, and they remain by your side from your living room through the hospital transfer and across any staff shift changes. The Dutch model trades routine interventions for autonomy and postnatal care. By carefully selecting your midwife, securing your Kromzorg early, and bringing a doula into the room, you build a safety net